swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. All night. Would you call me old-fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah, look, alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for kettle one, I don't settle for goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunton loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything, everything. It's off Alaska. You know that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
Hey, y'all. What's smacking? How you crack-a-lacking? How you crack-a-lacking? What's smacking? Happy Thursday! What's going on, y'all? What's happening? Hey, London. Hey, Lakita B. Long time no see. Hey, Lainey Star. Hey, Brown Eyes. What's going on, y'all? Y'all in here. And I'm in here. And we ain't gonna be, well, we drinking, but we ain't drinking no liquor. We ain't drinking no liquor today. How about that, right? Like, it happens. It happens. Once in a blue moon, it happens that I'm in here and I ain't drinking liquor. So today, we are doing some mocktails, which, you know, by popular demand, you all have talked about the mocktails. So I am going to be making a couple of mocktails. I'm going to be sampling a couple of mocktails. And we got to talk about what we talked about last week. So what did we talk about last week, y'all? Do y'all remember? Y'all remember? Locke said he can actually drink tonight. You can. Hey, Eb. Thank you for the resub. I appreciate you. Last week, it was all about apples. How you like them apples. So you all remember we talked about the apple of our eye. We talked about how one bad apple spoils the bunch. And we made a concoction So we have claps, snaps, hearts, love in the chat to London Michelle because she did the caramel apple creation and it was delicious. So you remember it was salted caramel whiskey, apples, cinnamon sticks, and the other part was apple cider and it was infused in a jar. And I want to tell you all, I drank it and I made some more and I shared it with some people. They liked it. They drank it. And I'll probably make another batch. But tonight, I am going to be actually making a virginal form of that called a virgin cinnamon apple. And then I'm making another drink called a virgin fizz. We are going to be drinking some Belvoir Farm, Elderflower, and Rose Lemonade. We're tasting it. And Shirley Temple. Because, you can't have a mocktail unless you have a Shirley Temple, right? Ours is already made, but we got to have it. So it's Mocktails and Zero Proof. And of course, this is the kickoff for Beats for a Cure officially today. And I just want to say that this morning, LV kicked it off proper. Okay. I think most of the people in the chat were probably in tears at some point. It was very moving. He took us to church. Okay. I said church. That's where he took us this morning. But breezed through that $1,000 like, backwards in high heels. It was like he did the damn thing. Plus, but it was a great stream. So I want everybody to do me a favor. While I am on, I believe Liddell, the DJ, is the person that is on Beats for a Cure right now. Please tab him up. Don't go anywhere because I'm here with y'all and we talking and we going to be making mocktails. But please tab him up as well, if at all possible, to make sure that you are part of that viewer count and we are supporting. Again, it does not matter where you give, but if you give to me, you're going to be placed in a raffle, all of my Twitch folks, and you will be able to choose any piece of merchandise you would like off the beatsforacure.org site. So please do that. The donation is !donate. And also we'll pin it at the top of the chat as well. So you can go in and you can donate. And remember, it does not matter how much you give. It only matters that you give because all of it goes to a great cause. So I'm really excited about tonight, and I hope you all will be as well because I have a special guest in studio. You heard me. I kept saying we drinking mocktails. I have a very special guest in studio. Big part of our Twitch fam. I have been knowing her since I've been on Twitch since the beginning. So like 5 years, almost 5 years, I think we've been knowing each other. And she is here today to talk about her experience with breast cancer. So I'm super excited. And I'm going to let her say hey to the peoples. And y'all will get a chance to see who it is. So say hey to the peoples.
Hey, people. What's up?
Yay! And this is LilMsRuthy, y'all. Y'all see her in the chats? This is LilMsRuthy. Look at it there. Ooh. Hoo. Hey, Blue Majesty, how you doing? So LilMsRuthy is here with me today, and we are going to be having a conversation today. Hey, Lioness Nala, how you doing? And we're going to be making some mocktails, and we are going to be talking. I thought it was really, really important that during, the whole kickoff of breast cancer awareness, that we have some real conversations because so often I feel like the focus, of course, is on the medical side of things, treatments, what goes on, everything kind of around that. But during all of that, there is an actual person that is going through this process. And I wanted to talk to one of the actual people who has been through this process. So I thought that was really important that we share that perspective. So I'm going to be mixing up some stuff. She's going to be talking. I'm going to be asking some questions and all of that good stuff. So Ruthie, how do you want to introduce yourself? Go, have the floor. Introduce yourself to the people. What do you want to say about your Twitch life, your other life, whatever you want to tell them, you get to tell them.
Sure. So y'all know me as LilMsRuthy. That Lil comes from, that's a name that has stayed with me my whole entire life. So back home in New York, they call me Little Ruthie. No matter how old I've gotten, every time I go, hey, LilMsRuthy. So that has kind of evolved. And now that I'm in the South, you add the Miss to it because everybody calls me Miss Ruthie around these parts. And so we match it up together, LilMsRuthy. So that's where that name comes from. And y'all haven't grown much. I'm just going to keep it real. I think the last time I've grown was like in the 6th grade, and that was it. And that was the end of that. So I've accepted it. I've embraced it, and we're okay. Now, it doesn't help me in concerts when we're standing room only and all that. But, I've learned to adjust over time. And so you guys are going to get a porridge of accents from me because I'm a New Yorker. I'm a West Indian. I am of Haitian American background. I'm a first generation American by way of my parents. And I've been in Atlanta now 26 years, so almost more time that I've spent in New York City.
Wow.
So quite some time in Metro Atlanta.
Miss Yvonne said, welcome to the Short People Brigade.
Hey, Miss Yvonne, how are you?
Miss Yvonne, I met you. You're not, well, okay, maybe. I was going to say you're not that short, but maybe so. Okay. Is the Short People Brigade, like, what is that? Like
5 feet.
5 feet? Yeah. 5 feet. Oh,
and that's what's in our head.
Oh, okay.
That's what we write down.
Okay, that's
what we memorialize.
All right, 5 feet. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, that's what's documented.
All right.
Now, what it is,
who really knows? Right. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
That's what we stand on that.
All right. Okay. She said that's what we stand on. All 5 feet of them stand on that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Miss Yvonne says she's 5'2". Okay, so see, 5'2", 5'3".
I like it.
I'm 5'5". I'm probably shrinking by now, but I'm okay. He said Short People Brigade.
Yes, that's
Ebony.
my sweet neighbor, Ebony. Literally.
How tall are you? How tall are you, Ebony? Because I feel like you and I are about like right there together or something. I don't know. Okay, but anyway. All right, so let's get into this, and we got our tissues handy. I'll just tell you because this is a real conversation, as I said. So I don't feel like I have to. Psalmist, I see you. Munchkin Crew Unite.
Hey, Psalmist.
I don't feel like I have to say this because of the people that are in here, and like my mods have carte blanche, so they know, but. Y'all, please, as a mod, as a viewer, as a person on Twitch, don't do it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just not tonight. Don't do it. We always have our 8th grade antics, and we have fun, and we drinking, and we kiki and kicking up our heels. But I'll just say that I have been in some other streams today. And some people have come in there and it's like, what the hell are you talking about? What does this have to do with what is going on in here? So I'm just putting that out there. Okay? Just putting it out there. All right. So I would love it if you would tell us your story about your diagnosis and then kind of what ensued after that. What happened after you got that diagnosis?
Sure. So after I got the diagnosis, I thought I was going to die. Just plain and simple. I got a phone call. That day I was working from home. I was diagnosed in the middle of the pandemic. It was July 2021. So about a month after I actually found the lump, then I went to the doctor. And I was very blessed because during that time, most people know that there was a difficulty getting in for doctor's appointments. And so when I even made that call with that concern, I was really quite surprised that they saw me within a week. And within that week, I also got my diagnosis. So after, receiving a diagnosis, just everything went through my head. Like, you don't think about your prognosis. You don't know the statistics. You don't think about time. It's just, it feels like a death sentence, especially since this is not in my family, right? And what immediately happened after that is you get assigned a board of health directors. So meaning the breast surgeon, plastic surgeon, in case you're going to go that route for reconstruction. You're seeing physical therapists, like all the folks, the nurses, everybody that's going to have a hand in your care. I had that meeting 1 week after diagnosis. And you all can imagine how overwhelming that was.
Yeah.
So it was a fast track for me. There was no delay in my care. That I must say and be honest about. At the time, in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so when I met with the board of directors, I had my mom and my dad with me. They have since relocated to Atlanta, so the whole family's here. But back then, everyone couldn't go up, right? Because it's COVID. So this is another aspect of what my experience was like going into treatment. Mm-hmm. My dad had to stay downstairs. My mom only was able to come up with me. So I come in and I sit at this table with all the folks, all the providers. Oh, Miss Prophet, blah, blah, blah. And then they give you this big book, bam, like it's your first day of school.
Wow. This is the book of
right.
What's about to be your life, right?
Literally. And it's a place also that you can keep information, receipts, so forth. But they start off with a packet that they give you. So like it's your textbook when you come in. What I found when I got home, as I started to peruse the textbook, these folks didn't look like me, the magazines, that, this is what's going to happen to you should you lose your hair, the wigs, the clothing options. The magazines were literally geared towards middle-aged white women. Mm. So that was the first of the traumatic events to ensue after diagnosis. On that day, I was offered to take the BRCA test. So many of you may have heard BRCA1 and then there's BRCA2. This is what's called the genetic testing. And in my case, that test consisted of nearly 80 genes that they tested. So they did the whole gamut of all cancers, not just breast cancer. And I used the results of that test to determine my treatment with the little bit of research that I've done at the time, right? And with a second opinion, I decided to go for a lumpectomy. So this was found in my right breast. And I found it in the shower, so while bathing. So this was not on purpose. It's just, I was just bathing. So it wasn't even doing a routine exam, just in the shower, felt it. And I'm like, this is weird. Right. And then when I got out the shower, I said, why don't I dry myself and feel again and look in the mirror. I also looked in the mirror, y'all. And that was important to me because I was like, gosh, this lump just came out of nowhere. Like I had a mammogram maybe 6 to 7 months prior.
Okay.
Right? And so it wasn't like I just felt it like a little lump up until this point. It was just the lump presented the day that it presented, for me at least. Okay. And so you fast forward to do all that. So I got the test back, came back negative. So I had no markers for cancer, at least no gene markers. And with that, with a second opinion, and because of my prognosis, because of my health coming into it. So I did not have any other comorbidities like, advanced diabetes or high blood pressure that wasn't controlled, things of that nature that could really prolong your situation, right? Luckily for me, I came in it with really good health, and I was advised that, I could have a lumpectomy. Mm-hmm. So that was what's called breast conserving surgery.
Right. Okay. And basically, they're just removing the lump.
Correct.
Okay.
They're removing the lump, and they're removing the area around the lump. So I forget what it's called. Not markers, but the margin around. So just a little bit more tissue around that, just to make sure it hasn't metastasized.
Yes.
Right. But also, too, and thank God for you all and your donations and your support and just the community, the monies and the dollars that go, I can say that I'm a beneficiary of technology and the advancements in treatment, because the morning of the surgery, the doctor, I had to go in 2 or 3 hours before the actual surgery itself to get this dye inserted into the right side of my body. And that is for the doctor to see exactly the lump, because right now at this point they only saw like images, right? The
Right.
ultrasounds and the mammograms that I took, so they were just going off the images that they saw. Now on the day of surgery, which a lot of people don't know this, but that's when you're actually staged.
Ah, okay.
You're typically staged. So they're giving a preliminary stage before then, but they don't know anything until they go in.
Okay.
And so what was good about that was then when they went in, they were able to see, well, whether or not this had moved around or if it had stayed contained. While it stayed contained, for me, it did move to my lymph nodes.
Ah, okay.
Right? And so that changed my course of treatment.
Yes.
So why I was saying it was good for technology is that he took out 4 out of 9 lymph nodes that I have in my underarm. And with that, when you talk about 10, 20, 15 years ago, women, all of their lymph nodes were being removed.
Okay.
So I just wanted to share and give you perspective on the advancement in technology and science, that now they can just take out what they see. So there was some cancer that was found in 4 of my lymph nodes, and that's why they were removed.
Okay.
Thus, changing my course of treatment, so we thought we were just going to do surgery and radiation, then chemo came in.
Okay. And let's talk about, I want to talk about your experience with the chemo. But during this process, and because you mentioned your mom and your dad in particular, right? And we know that support systems are critical during an experience like this. And of course you have your medical team, and you said you sat down with everybody at the table and you had your mom and your dad. But what was your support system like during this process? Especially, we're talking about the early stages. We're moving along, but we're talking about the early stages. What was your support system like?
It was incredible. It was.
I'm so glad to hear that.
It was incredible. Because one of my support systems is you. You were part of my tribe at the time, because early on I had shared with you, because again, we'd known each other for quite some time before.
Right.
And in conversation, you were one of the very few people that I even shared the concern about the lump.
Yes.
So I had to call you back to let you know what happened.
Right.
Which was that dreaded phone call.
Yeah, I remember
it was that dreaded phone call. But my support system was just incredible. Those that knew that I had was able to and had the strength to share with at the time, and the capacity to share with. And I say that with everything, because folks get a little iffy, like, oh, why didn't you tell me? And they feel like they're so close to you and they want to know everything and they want in. But it's not an easy thing. It's not like, oh, I'm getting married or I'm having a baby. Like, it's not good news, right?
Right.
And that's not what you broadcast. I mean, some people are better at broadcasting those things than others. That's not my MO, right? And so initially, yes, I wanted to keep it close.
Yes.
And that was my best way of processing it, because it was just such a stressful situation. I didn't know how else to deal with it, and that was the best that I could at the time.
Yeah.
And so when you ask about my support system, I mean, the folks just between my family and my new family in Atlanta, you all just completely rallied around me in a way that I had to live with my parents, right? I could not care for myself. Although we know some people do go through this alone, right? Which is just an unfortunate circumstance. But my family was not having it. They were like, nah, you're not staying at the house. You need to get the essentials. I literally was like, get the essentials and you're coming home with us. I'm like, oh, okay. And when I get there, people are asking me, how can we support you? Where are you? And I'm like, oh, don't mail anything to my house, because I'll have a pile of things and I didn't know when I was going to go home, what the situation looked like. And for the 8 months that I was there, my parents' home was like a florist. Flowers came almost daily, weekly, from, my work friends and family, people I had done community service with and work throughout Metro Atlanta. my college alumni group just came in, they were incredible. Incredible. When they would come to visit me, because mind you, again, this is during COVID, right? Mm-hmm. So some people I could only do just drive-bys with, right? Like they would just come by the house, Ruthie, we just want to see your face. So, I'd come by the window and wave, or if I could step outside, depending on the temperature, right. I'd be able to step outside on the driveway and wave and do air hugs and whatnot. A part of that group from the Twitch family will know Crazy Berrytown and her husband, Tim. Mm-hmm. Y'all know I was very close to Tim. Yeah. And they came and they did drive-bys with Captain Boots, and they were just incredible and so sweet, so sweet. With you, your support was actually really, you will permit me to share in the way that you supported me. In addition to the text messages, the calls, and people just checking in, Lisa, she would send me stuff all the time. But, it's not just stuff. These are things that are now in my support keepsake box that I've kept. And she sent me meditation cards, which I didn't even know existed. I knew that I needed to meditate, and that would be part of my process along with prayer and support and all the other things. But the way she supported me, y'all, and I'm not sure if I'm really going to even really be able to articulate it, but I was glad that I was able to tell you a couple months back. So we had our moment.
Yeah, we did.
So we're not going to recreate that here. Yep. We're not going to do that here. But just knowing how to support someone and not being intrusive with your support, right, and not expecting anything is really paramount and critical. And that's not just in a cancer diagnosis. This is with grief, when somebody has a loss, just any traumatic event, knowing how to support people. There's one thing to say that you freeze, like you just don't know what to do. Right. But sometimes that's not even acceptable, knowing your level of relationship and intimacy with a person.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
And so while I give those people who are in my circle grace with that, but at the same time, just touching a person and knowing how to touch the person and let them know that you feel them, that I'm with you, even though we don't talk often, even though I don't really understand what you're going through, right, is really paramount to healing.
Yeah. That is, that's a word. I mean, and Lakita said that part. Because I think it's so important, and you said it, like in any situation, you have to know when to give people space. Yes. You have to know when to give them grace. Mm-hmm. And then you have to know when to step forward and embrace.
Amen.
And that is not always an easy thing to figure out. And I know for me, I'm a person that relies so heavily on my intuition. And it's like I'm very much a thinker and a perfectionist and all of those things. But there are times that I just kind of have to say, mind, stop, heart, lead.
You got it right. You're one of the few that got it right. So thank you. Thank you publicly.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And it's good to know. It's good to know, because with things like this, you never know if you are getting it right. You're only doing what you feel you should do, often in the moment. And like you said, sometimes people have no clue what to do. But I have always been a person that's like, if I'm feeling this, then this is what I should do. And like I'll tell people sometimes, I'm reaching out to you, I'm texting you because I feel like I should. Yes. And I don't know why. Yep. It doesn't matter why, but I'm thinking of you today. So I'm going to stop and text you or reach out to you in some way. So to kind of continue this experience, and I want to kind of talk about, in a conversation that we had, why we chose the word experience. There's a reason. It was a word that I gave to Ruthie as how I wanted to place this information out there on the flyer. And I used the word experience. And she said, it's really interesting that you chose that word experience, because there are other words that people use. And when we get into this, please, the people that use the other words, don't be offended by what we're saying here. And you choose the words that fit for you.
Yes.
But there was something that you shared with me about why you like the word experience as opposed to some other words. So tell us about that. And then we're going to kind of continue with, the progression of your situation.
Sure. So using like the word journey, battle, and all those other ones. Well, first of all, let's go back. Journey itself. So there is a difference. Because a lot of people like to say, cancer journey. And for me, I've always equated the word journey as pleasurable. Right. A great trip.
Right.
A great, endeavor.
We're going to Cancun.
Right. So that's how I equate journey. And so I'm glad you prefaced that by saying not to get offended because, everyone's description or how they want to identify themselves in this space is yours alone. And I struggled with that initially when I was after diagnosis, just going through different groups, social media, and seeing different ways that people identify themselves. When I said, well, how am I going to identify myself? And where do I fit in this space? I'm mad. I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to be part of this club. So, excuse me. So I'm just like, wait a minute, like this is a lot. So, but I thought long and hard about it as I kept, getting the strength to speak out about what I was going through and being an advocate and, how do I identify myself? And I found that when we were chatting that you had used the word and I'm like, wow, like, we're in sync here. And I chose to share that with you and say that I'd rather the word experience because it could really go either way.
Yes.
But it's what I'm comfortable with now. Now, if you talk to me 5 years from now, it might be something different.
Right.
But right now, this is where the space that I'm in. And just for folks to understand, I'm 3 years out. So still things are very fresh for me.
Yes.
The triggers are very real.
Yes.
There's just a lot. Even just this month has been overwhelming for me, right? With the color pink. It's not my favorite color, but it looks good on everybody else. And I now am learning that I can grieve and celebrate both at the same time. And so when I wear it, especially for this month, I'm celebrating my survivorship and others' survivorship. And so that's, again, another way I'd like to identify how I am, putting myself in this space.
I love that. So when you talk about identification, hey Ronzi, how you doing? Some other people
Miss
came
Ronzi.
in here.
Hello, y'all. Hey, Marcia.
Hey Natty. Hey Marcia. Some other people. I'm sorry. We apologize if we miss greeting you. But when you talk about identifying yourself, so let's go to the next steps, and then I kind of want you to tell us, like, kind of, I guess, at the end of the journey or where you are with this experience now, how you identify. But you received, you went through this surgery. We made it to that point. And then after that, you're in the period of healing and recovery. What was that like?
Confusing, overwhelming, working to build my confidence back up.
Yeah.
Personally, professionally, physically, spiritually, like literally in every aspect of my life. Just trying to get myself back again because I'm a new Ruthie, literally.
Yeah.
The things that I could do easily prior to diagnosis, today, not so much. Right?
Yeah.
Dealing with the side effects of treatment. Not only the side effects of treatment, but of the medications that you're on. Long-term medications. And so it's all the emotions. Anger.
Yeah. Yes.
If I'm going to be real, like you all see me always jovial, but the truth is there was some anger. There continues to be anger at times. The most important part is not dwelling on it, right? Like I allow myself to be upset. I allow myself to grieve. I allow myself all the emotions. And then I'm like, okay, God, but I'm grateful. Like, look, please don't hold it on me. Like, look, don't hold it. Let me have
Wait a minute, Jesus.
Hold up now. So yeah, I let myself have those moments because we tend to feel guilty, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I had major survivor's guilt. I continue to have that.
Yeah.
Right? Because the triggers are everywhere. You know, every other day now, I mean, it's the 1 in 8, 1 in 10. It just seems like it's every day, every 5 seconds, somebody's being diagnosed or somebody's transitioning or whatever in this space.
Yes.
So it's a lot. And you can't, even if you put your phone down, but you turn on the radio, you know, you get in the car and the commercials follow you all of a sudden. Like you feel like it's following you.
Right.
You can't escape it, right?
Yeah.
You want your life back. And so I've struggled with, I want my life back, but I'm wrestling in my head that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You can do the best that you can to get some semblance of this new normal for yourself.
Yes.
As best as you can. But what I used to do before, like, it's just not going to be, or not in immediacy. Again, remember, you're only 3 years out.
Right. Right. And I think you raised an excellent point, and I want to kind of talk about this a little bit. When you mention your emotions and just resting with those, because you're absolutely right. I think we live in a world that says, well, you know, you shouldn't feel that way. You know, you shouldn't be angry. You should be grateful. And do you understand that this is what's going on with this person or that person? But the truth of the matter is, whatever it is that you're dealing with or facing, those are your problems, and they are real. And you have every right to those emotions and those feelings. You can be angry.
Thank you.
You know, you can be grateful in the next 10 minutes, and then you can go back to being mad. But I think that it's very important to you accepting what is going on with you and what your forward steps are, because you gotta go through that in order to get to the next space and place. I think that that's extremely important, and I'm glad you said that about like the anger.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, you know, like fears and kind of rebuilding and everything that goes with that. So as you went through, you know, you wound up having to have chemotherapy, which that wasn't in the original plan.
Right.
So, of course, there were a lot of physical changes with that. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, how was that process with the physical changes? Was it a gradual thing for you, or was it just this happened and now here I am?
So I will tell you, I was warned, or, you know, the team will tell you what's to come. And because of my health and I had a really good prognosis, and for the type of cancer that I was diagnosed with, I was treated very aggressively.
Okay.
Very aggressively. And with that, the changes will come immediately.
Okay.
So many of you know, pre-diagnosis, I had, you know, fairly shoulder length hair. And, you know, I was trying to process the hair loss. Like, this is coming. You know, I was lucky enough to have folks that were, you know, a women of color that were in my nursing team. So they took me to the side and said, sis, this is going to happen. You can do the cold caps and these other things, but that technology is still so new that not all insurance covers it.
Okay.
It's very expensive and it's time consuming.
Okay.
So I had enough time to do the research and look into it and realize that, you know, maybe cold cap is not going to be for me, and there's no guarantee.
Okay. And explain to them what the cold cap is.
Oh, sure. Too. So for cold capping it's where you wear like a cap that you freeze, but you freeze it overnight. And in some cases, some of them are mobile, and then there are others that are attached to an electronic source that you plug it in to freeze overnight. And then you bring the cold cap to the infusion center for them to keep it so it can stay cold.
Okay.
Prior to your treatment. And then while you're getting the infusions, meaning that the chemo was administered intravenously, you're wearing the cold cap to cover your head and hair, and that's to prevent or minimize hair loss. And so at that time, the data was just all over the place. And even the nurses were like, yeah, that's a lot of work. It's, you know, high maintenance. So we're not sure if we would even want to do this, but you can if you want to. And I just felt like with all the pressure that I had going and the decisions that I had to make, everything was just, I had to make a decision every minute. And with that, I was like, yeah, I don't think it's worth it. So I decided, okay, this is going to happen. And so I went into my stylist. It was the last time I had gone to her because at the time, just full disclosure, I was relaxed all the way up until that point. Hair was relaxed. So I had chemical treatment in my hair. And went over and I told her, I had told her prior, so she knew what was happening. And we did the big chop. Never had a big chop my whole life. Had all my hair with me. Always talked about
Welcome
it.
to my world.
It seemed glamorous, right? But now I had to do it due to circumstances. And so we did that. And so I got used to my hair for about a week. And 2 weeks into chemo is when it happened.
Okay.
Right? And so that was my way of getting control of the situation.
Okay.
Right? Because I knew this was coming. And I didn't want, because I saw the pictures and videos and different experiences of other women that they said that their hair was just falling out in the shower or in the bed and just all over the house. And I already didn't like, even when my hair was long, I didn't like my hair falling out all over. I didn't like that. So I was like, now clumps of hair? No, that would have been too much for me. And so in order to take that back, that's what I did the big chop.
Okay.
2 weeks into chemo, I was putting some mousse in my hair, my little curls, my little fro, and I was just rubbing my hair, rubbing it, and then I just looked down and I was like, oh. So what I thought I was okay with, I wasn't.
Wow.
Because I saw a bunch of curls in my hands, and I was like, this is what they were talking about. This is what they were talking about. And so I let that go on for a week. So in the shower, just anything I did, it was just coming out, curls just coming out, coming down. And then finally I told my dad, I said, Dad, I think, we just gonna have to shave it off. And he was so strong and gracious. I love my dad and my mama too, but my daddy did it for me. Shaved my head. So we went in the backyard. And he shaved it off. I thought I was more vain and like I'm just gonna, we're gonna lay out. We're talking.
So yes, please.
And I thought, this is just the end of the world. Like, oh my God. But I think maybe God just prepared me up until this point.
Yeah.
Because what was traumatic was seeing the curls in my hands. I had that moment. What I was trying to avoid, it did ultimately happen, right?
Right.
But again, in a way to control the situation, I was like, Dad, okay, let's just go ahead and get that over with. And so with that, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I just, even though I had not been a wig person prior to this, I just delved right into it. So I wasn't the one that was walking around bald. That wasn't my ministry.
Right. What?
That was not my ministry.
We're just going to leave that to lock. No, I'm just kidding. and the other... No. The lights turned off. Listen. Okay, let me qualify that remark, maybe I can get the lights turned back on me. On men, I love a bald head. I think I love it. I think it is. I'm all jokes. Put up big stove. Big stove.
That is my brother right there.
No,
Stove
listen.
is my God.
Hey, listen. Blue
CC
said no lights
Cruz,
off
my
tonight.
twin. What's up, Miss Ronzi?
Listen. Let me qualify this. I love a bald head on a man. I think it is very sexy.
Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa, we do remember though.
Yes.
Last week, no lights on.
Y'all. Okay, we digress.
Okay, yes.
Y'all, last week I made it throughout the whole show, the entire show, without getting the lights turned off on me. Exactly. Put some hearts in the chat. I want some thunder.
And I didn't even say anything because I didn't want to jinx it.
Yes, he didn't say anything until after the show was done, and he was like, "You know what? You made it throughout the whole show without getting the lights turned off on you." I was like, "What?
Damn.
What?" I had to drink after that. No.
You was drinking before that too.
I was, but
yeah, because last week you kind of needed it.
Yeah, last week it has continued, but I'm better now. But yeah. So, and on that note, we're gonna taste some stuff because I told you all we had some mocktails. So we're gonna pause for a second because I want to tell you all about this. I saw this in the store and it just was like, we're gonna move our little. Y'all see our little Halloween candle? Our Halloween candle is like liquor flavored, liquor scented. It's zombie brain punch, and it smells fruity, and it's pink, and it's pretty. So I got it.
like it.
Okay. I see you lot. Oh, it counts. But anyway, we're going to put this to the side. I'm going to give you that to put to the side. And I want to show you all this. This is called Belvoir Farm Organic Elderflower and Rose Lemonade. It says sparkling soft drink made with hand-picked elderflowers and extract of rose. And this is organic. I saw this in Whole Foods. Let me turn my, in these bottles. There we go. I saw it in Whole Foods and it was pretty, but then the flavor, I thought this would be interesting. I think this would be an interesting mocktail. So you ready to taste it?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to taste
ready.
it. So get your little cup out. And we are going to pour this up. So this is the first of our mocktail. Ooh, y'all hear that gurgle?
I hear
Ruthie
it.
heard it.
I hear it.
No, we're a little far away from the mic.
No, we heard that one loud and clear.
We heard it?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Okay, so this is it. So we're going to taste this. I've never had it before. It says at Belvoir Farm, we've been, I don't have my glasses, y'all. We've been helping nature. I forgot to take them out. We've been helping nature do its thing since 1984. I do see that. Caretaking the wild ecosystems of our little corner of someplace in I can't even pronounce this place. I don't even know what that says. Something Shire. It's not that I can't see it. I just can't pronounce it. Something Shire.
Worcestershire?
What does it?
Lord, put me on.
Lick, something. Starts with an L. See that?
Leicestershire?
Leicestershire? Okay, see.
Leicestershire or Leicestershire?
Someplace like that.
Someplace like that.
Someplace like that.
Like
That's what
someplace
it
like
says
that.
on the bottle, okay?
Yeah.
And it says our organic elderflower and rose lemonade is made with hand-picked elderflowers and pure spring water for a delicately floral refreshing taste. Serve chilled. So we're going to see. We're going to see what it tastes like. Okay. So cheers to your experiences thus far. More to come.
It's refreshing.
I like it.
I do too.
It is very refreshing. It's very, very light. Mm-hmm. Definitely taste the lemonade. Definitely taste the rose.
I taste the rose, yeah.
And I think I taste elderflower. I mean, I drink elderberry juice, you know, for health reasons.
I taste the floral in there too.
Yeah.
It's good.
This is good.
This is good. Not too sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just right.
I agree. So this was $8.99, I think, at Whole Foods. So yeah, this is good. Oh, we got a raid. Welcome, Raiders. From Mr. Go DJ. Thank you, fam. I appreciate it. Hey, Joel.
Hey, Mr. Go DJ.
Hey, Wins. Hey, Mr. Go DJ. Welcome, y'all. Hey, to College 06. Other people come in here. So, hey, everybody, and welcome. And for those of you that are just tuning in, hey, DJ Missy. We are having a discussion today about Little Miss Ruthy's breast cancer experience. She is my guest today. So we are talking and we are tasting some mocktails, and I will be mixing up some mocktails shortly. But we just tasted organic elderflower and rose lemonade by Belvoir Farms. And it was very good. So on a scale from 1 to 5, what do you give it? 5. I give it a 5 also. This
Look,
was
you
really
see my
good.
things up there.
Yeah,
I finished it.
She gave that a 5, y'all. The proof is in the bottom of that glass.
Lisa, I think you need to give her the rules of engagement for tasting.
For the tasting. You know what? She chug-a-lugged that, y'all.
I did.
She took it to the head. It's non-alcoholic. This is a mocktail 0 proof, but she took it to the head because she was like,
It was good also.
it was good. I liked it. Hey, True Bella. How you doing? When you
Lisa,
taste,
Ruthie,
you're just supposed to like just sip a
little
little
something
bit,
like
and
that. Okay.
kind of switch it around in the mouth, smell it.
I thought we did that for wine.
We do it for liquor, and we do it for our mocktails
For all the
too.
things?
For all the
Okay.
things. The zero
Decorum?
proof.
Okay.
Decorum. Okay. So
Okay.
I do apologize. Locke is right. I did not give
Okay.
you the rules. Therefore, they were broken.
Okay.
So
Next
it's
time.
okay. So next time we got another mocktail that we're gonna taste that. But
Okay.
yeah, Ruthie put that
so
back. Ruthie,
she did. Like
Ruthie
she's
put,
like,
she put that back like she was at
That
the
was
bar.
good.
Tell my previous life.
yeah, she might not be drinking now, but back in the day, yesterday, no.
Listen. And that's
Like-
one of the changes.
Yeah, that-
right, for
okay.
me in terms
One
of
of-
taste. Yeah.
In terms of taste. So let's
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah,
that because of course you talked about kind of, physically, you went through the whole process with your hair but then there were other physical changes as well, and probably physical changes that people don't even think about. And like you mentioned, the taste.
Yeah.
So probably some things that you used to really enjoy, not
Yeah.
so much.
Not so much. So I went through the normal, or I guess for those who experienced that side effect, I did lose my taste during chemo, right?
Okay.
And I had that metally taste, textures, just all the things.
Okay.
Now, y'all know I don't do hot sauce, hot anything.
Right. Yeah, you like me with that.
Right?
Me neither.
But interestingly enough, I was able to tolerate that during chemo. And my
Really?
family was like, what? Like, they saw me putting hot sauce on food. They were like, what are you doing? I was able to tolerate it during chemo.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's almost like the reverse of things. But then even when treatment ended, that continued to linger. So I have good days and bad days when it comes to taste.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the alcohol, for me, it was more of a personal thing because it's on one of the risk factors,
Yes.
right? Like stay away or minimize, even though they
Right.
say that we can imbibe and have, return to some semblance of
Right.
enjoying a drink. And I never was the type to drink until I was drunk or anything like that. I
Right.
could definitely classify as a social drinker, drinking it with my dinner, out and about at a restaurant with friends. So that type of drinking. But I felt guilty afterwards.
Interesting.
I remember that first sip that I tried to take that I thought I wanted.
Okay.
And I was like, nah, this doesn't feel good. I feel like I'm putting poison in my body. That's what it felt like.
That's what it felt like. That's interesting.
yeah.
that
So I
is
had
really
to
interesting.
work my way through it.
Okay.
So of course I probably wouldn't drink at the level that I did before. So maybe just
Right.
one at a time, one glass or two maybe at the max. But, I'm going to do like sangrias, like sweet, fruity type drinks. But, and I'll take a shot here and there, but it doesn't hit the same. The enjoyment is not the same.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that because, of course, one of the things, when they do talk about, like you said, risk factors,
Yeah.
and as with everything that they usually discuss, moderation is key.
Yeah.
And like I always tell my viewers, as an executive bourbon steward, of course, bourbon, whiskey, that's my thing. But I'm drinking for taste,
Yes.
more so than, like you said, I'm not trying to get drunk.
Right.
It's not about that. And because I have control issues, I'm not
Same,
going to do
same.
that.
Correct.
That's just not happening in my world because it's like I really want to be in control of whatever is happening. But as you said, moderation being key in all things. So what other things though do you feel like kind of changed? Let's talk about some of the other things that you feel like maybe changed, because you talked about the taste, of course. You went through it with your hair. And I would imagine just kind of like your physical body
Yeah.
changed
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, in terms of my strength, it's just not really the same, right? So the endurance that I had with the workouts, because again,
Right.
knowing
You
my
were an
previous
avid
life,
walker.
correct? Walker, runner,
Yeah.
yogi.
Yeah.
I would hiker, like I did it. I tried to
know.
dabble in it all, right? And now it's just so much of a struggle. It's just so much of a struggle because what's involved with what chemo does to your body and the medication that you're taking, it affects your bones and your joints.
Okay.
So it almost feels like your insides have aged really quickly. It's probably the best layman's term that I can
Okay.
say. So physically, I just feel like I have no energy. or not as much as I had before. And so I'm spent a lot faster than pre-diagnosis. So when I could hang out all night and go hopping and go from one brunch place to another, I give y'all 2 and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I gotta go home. I'm looking at the clock, like, it's time to wrap this thing up.
Right.
So for me, just the level of energy is just, you still feel not as exhausted as while I was under chemo and radiation per se, but you just know your limit. Like, you just can't take it anymore, right? And if we really want to keep it a buck, it puts you into pre-menopause and rapid menopause a little bit quicker.
Okay.
And this affects even women under 40 that have been diagnosed.
Wow.
These are side effects of the treatment.
Wow. And that is something I'd never heard that before. This is my first time hearing
Yes. So those feelings of the hot flashes, the personal summers, all the words.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. That's something to consider when you're approaching treatment. And even to take it a step further for women of childbearing age, chemo can have a very drastic effect on your fertility, which is why it's super important, even though there's a lot coming at you and you have a lot of decisions to make, like I mentioned before, very quickly, don't overlook, listen to what they're telling you.
Right.
But don't overlook that if you have the opportunity to preserve your fertility,
Yes.
that you should explore those options if you have the time.
Good point.
So I'm not giving medical advice,
Right,
but
right. No, we're not.
We're not giving medical
neither
advice.
one of us are. Hey, Moni
Right.
G, how you doing? Neither one of us are on that. But I think you saying that raises kind of a thought that I always have. We hear a lot about traditional treatments. We hear about radiation and chemotherapy and, things of that nature. But, there are alternatives, of course. There can be alternatives in terms of supplement, but then there can also be just alternatives, period, to treatment. And I don't think it's something that we hear enough about. But in your experience, I know one of the things that you and I discussed was there should be more options. Where do you feel, I guess we're going to say the medical field is in need of improvement? That's our nice way of putting it, in need of improvement.
That's a good question. So this goes on both sides, but to address the medical field, include us in clinical trials,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But the opposite side of that is we have to not be afraid to participate. So when given the option to participate, while we do know that we have a history of mistrust in the medical community because of known things that have happened to us as a
Yes.
people, generally speaking, there's data on that. Like, we know what has happened in the past.
And we are talking about African Americans, y'all. Just
Yes,
so you know.
to be frank, yes. Because this is the African American experience.
Well, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And so while those things remain true, let's not let them hinder us from also participating in the process of making things better. And so once I've come out on the other side of this, I have made it my mission to research and inquire about clinical trials. And wherever I can participate and lend my voice to my experience and what I'm going through, I'm going to do it, whether it's paid or not.
Okay.
I say that because what I learned in joining different group chats and participating with those that have been affected, Black women particularly, I've learned that the medication is very harsh on our bodies. And we react to the side effects very differently than white women do. And that was a mind-blowing experience to me. I did not know that. But I would not have known that had I not been diagnosed and been in this space. And so that's why it's critically important that even if we're not diagnosed with anything, but if we're offered the opportunity to even participate, just to tell our history, just to talk about, what's going on with our family history and what we've been exposed to, we should participate in clinical trials. So in that regard, we need more in the healthcare space to kind of break down the medical bias that occurs.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. That's excellent. So I think it was Trubella. Yes. She was talking about a natural remedy, and you said it's called soursop. and make
familiar.
tea
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and the leaves. Okay, I wanted to make sure I was pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah.
And so many things that are natural have a lot of benefits.
Yes.
And as you said, it takes time, it takes energy to explore those things. And you pointed out, you're already overwhelmed
Right.
with everything that you're getting from the medical side of things. But I would also always encourage people to look at what else is there. Because we know with medicine, they're learning.
Yeah.
There are always new things being discovered. There are new procedures. And you gave the excellent example of, it used to be removing all of the lymph nodes,
Right.
but now they're able to target it. So that shows you that there's
Yes.
growth and there's progression. So we have to keep that in mind, that there's always things that are out there. And then don't forget a lot of the old remedies
Yeah.
that people will tell you about that actually work.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things right from the earth that we can use and utilize, and
Yeah.
ancient practices that are in place that will help us with healing.
Yeah.
So I think that's an excellent point. How do you feel like your thoughts, and because we know like the mind is ruler, right? And I'm going to say now, but I'm going to also say during the process. But how do you feel like your thoughts influence your healing process and kind of where you see yourself next?
Sure. Now, they'll tell you to stay positive, right? Surround yourself
easy
around
to say.
positive. Right.
Yeah, easy to say. Easy
And
to
there's
say.
even a term now that's toxic positivity, just like financial toxicity in the cancer space. Both of those are the extremes. Like, when you talk about positive toxicity, that's, telling somebody to be, happy and joyous all the time, where really the process or the experience is not always happy and joyous.
Correct.
Right. And you have to leave room, which is why we talked about in the beginning of our conversation, just giving yourself grace and allowing you to stay in a space where it's okay to grieve, it's okay to be upset, but just not stay in that space.
Yes.
And so mentally, it's been a lot.
Yep.
It's been a lot. And so, I had to lean on my faith, had to lean on my support system, and even for myself, just to build my own self up, through meditation, through doing the things that I like to bring me back to myself. I love to read. You guys will always catch me reading something so all the time somewhere. So I love to read. So that's my escapist. That's my place to get away. And not necessarily like professional stuff, but like, just even if it's just like some romance novel or whatever, just
Right.
something to just escape and just get outside of the hustle and bustle of work and a daily life, but somewhere else to go. I enjoy traveling, and so I'm grateful that I can do that again. Yeah. I'm grateful to get back into my activities slowly but surely, attending sports, live sports events, concerts. Like, I love to be outside and enjoy just even nature.
Okay.
Right? So all of those things help you with your mental state. And when you talk about what's next, as I gain the strength to continue to tell my story, because while I was going through, that was my bargaining prayer with God, that I said to God, if you extend my life, if you allow me more time, while it was difficult for me to share what I was going through, please don't stifle my voice. Don't stifle the influence that you have bestowed upon me, to not tell my story, to not be able to help somebody else. Because the only reason I'm doing this, and how nervous I was coming in here, and I have no problem really publicly speaking, but when you talk about yourself, that's completely different. When you talk about work matters, that's fine, but when you have to talk about yourself, it hits different.
Yeah.
But what's in it for me, forward thinking, is to be able to be an advocate, to speak for those that are unable to speak for themselves. And hopefully in my sharing my story, and I've already seen this happen, some women have said that they have not had their mammograms since the pandemic. Wow. Right? And so
Go get it.
please, and be familiar with yourself too, because I think I heard that the American Cancer Society or some societies said that they're not recognizing self-exams. But that's important too. You have to know what your body and your breasts feel like. And it's not just your breasts. We're talking to men too, just all parts of your body. You may see a wart, a lump somewhere, anywhere else.
Right.
If it's lingering for far too long, then go get it checked out. Most of us have insurance.
Yes.
Most of us.
Yes. Most of us. You're right.
And it's almost, I hate to say this, it's a privilege to have insurance, because I know people in this position, they have to choose between treatment or do I pay the rent? Treatment or do I put gas in my car? And I feel very blessed that I didn't have to make those decisions. Very grateful for that. And so now that I'm here and I have a voice and I can speak, as long as I have strength, I'm going to speak. And so I appreciate you for sharing your platform with me to do that. And I hope that if there's just one person that's out there that's listening, if it will just cause you to not be fearful, because it's another thing that affects our community is that we live in fear. We will walk around with this lump or this mole or, this rash on our body for months and days. And then by the time we go and we get it checked out, it's sometimes too late. And that could have very well been my story, because I'm like, I'm like the pillar of health. Looking at me, you would have thought that. I would have thought that.
Yeah. This woman out there walking like 50 miles in a day. 50 miles in a day. Hey, Doug. Hey, Red Robinson. Some people came in here. But yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I hope that you all, and I love that you said men as well.
Yes.
And knowing your body is so important. Mm-hmm. And I think not allowing, because we know this happens very often, the doctor or the professional to brush you off.
Yes.
Because that happens too. Mm-hmm. That often they'll say, oh, it's nothing. Yep. Or, you're okay. Mm-hmm. Or that, I'll just give you some pills or something to treat the symptoms. Yep. When it's more.
That's not it.
That this is something deeper than that. It's something that needs to be investigated. So I love that you put that message out there, and men, go get your exams. Please. Women, go get your exams. And I do know that now there are a lot of resources out there for women in particular that you can get free mammograms. And I encourage you, if you don't have insurance, look into what your options are. You use the internet for everything else, okay? Right. I use it looking up drinks and all of that stuff, but use it for good as well. Yeah. Use it for, what is it that I need that perhaps I don't have the money for, I don't have the resources for, but there are things that are out there that are available to you. I know they have like a van.
Yes.
That will go around and you can, sign up, get on the van, and they will do your
Some employers
your
offer it. Employers do different groups. You got, you can send your folks to me if they have any questions. Okay. I will gladly lead them to where they can get the help that they need. So, yes.
So here you are. You have a resource right here. And I always tell you this show is about education of all sorts. We learn about all kinds of stuff. We learned about blumpkins and, and all kinds of things. We talk about all kinds of stuff here.
I love it.
But make sure that, you utilize your resources. And, like I always think people talk about, what makes a person smart or intelligence. I think intelligence and smart to me is utilizing your resources.
Amen to that.
That's what I believe, because nobody knows everything.
Right.
Nobody can do everything. Mm-hmm. And so you utilize your resources. Yeah. You tap in. So Agreed. Doug said, brothers, take heed, because I need to speak from experience. You never know what's going on inside, especially if you feel fine. Stuff is happening to your body. Mm-hmm. So, and that's a good point, because I know
Yeah.
sometimes with men, they'll say, oh, I'm okay. I don't need to go to the doctor, or men will say, it's been 10 years since I had a physical. Like, that's not a badge of honor,
Right.
guys. I mean,
That's not a flex.
It's not. It's not. So
not a flex.
please make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're getting your checkups and doing your test and all of those things. So Trubella said, I work in the medical field. Please go to your insurance company's website and investigate. Then what they don't cover, there is secondary and tri insurances
Yep.
that can be obtained.
There's
So-
also
and-
financial assistance.
and financial
Can we
assistance.
talk about that?
Yeah, and financial assistance. So
Yeah.
thank you, Trubella, for putting that in there.
Yes.
And you're right. Sometimes the insurance company will try to say the patients are responsible and you are not. That is absolutely
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
positively correct in terms of the resources. And of course, it's always good to know on the front end, if you can.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you can find out what is the coverage, what am I eligible for
Mm-hmm.
before you move forward. But and open enrollment is coming up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is amongst us. Y'all see all of the Medicaid, Medicare commercials on
Bombarded.
TV. And you're getting the calls on your phone along with your
Yeah.
voting,
Yes.
all of your voting calls. So definitely utilize, your resources and know. And also making sure you're not underinsured. That's also
another one, too.
a good
Yes.
point to find out what's available to you, because you want the most.
Yes.
Whatever you can get is what you want.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
even if you don't have to use it, which is a wonderful
Yeah.
thing,
It's a blessing.
it's a wonderful thing, but make sure that you know what's available to you and take advantage of the things
Agreed.
that are Trubella said, I feel like an underpaid lawyer, underpaid medical advocate. You write appeals all day. But Trubella, can I just say thank you?
Thank you for your work. Yeah.
Thank you. If nobody else is telling you
Yeah.
thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. I sincerely mean that, because we need more people to speak up. We need
Yes.
people to be advocates.
Yes.
And we need to learn how to not gatekeep information,
Ooh, now that's a word.
because
Now
sometimes,
that is a word.
y'all, we're so bad about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is the purpose of learning something or having information if you're only holding it? You need to share it.
Tomorrow's
So,
not promised.
It is not. So please
Yeah,
share it, because
agreed.
like Ruthie said, she's here today. She's telling this story to us. This can help someone.
Hopefully, yeah.
This can help someone. Somebody in the chat, someone
so.
in earshot.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the chat shares with
Yes.
someone else. It matters. What you say matters. What you say to other people, it
Amen.
matters.
Amen to that.
It matters. So we're going to make a drink.
Let's do it.
How about that? We're
Let's
gonna
do
make
it.
a drink. So I'm gonna talk about this book. I talked about this last Thursday.
We
It
just
is
gotta-
called
we just
The
got-
Home Bartender.
We just got to make sure Ruthie doesn't chug it again.
Yes, we're gonna make sure she
I'm gonna-
doesn't. Hey DK, because she did chug. She did chug. DK, thank you for the bits. All bits and subs go to Beats for a Cure. It's exclamation point donate. If you care to donate, please do so. I don't know where I am. I know I'm not last so far. Hopefully I won't be. But it started off officially today. You all, please donate $5, $1, whatever it is. Okay, so I just got the word, $370 to date. Thank you all. I appreciate you so much. You can donate from now until demand say you can't donate.
Right.
We have raised more than I think it's about almost $10,000 total,
Already?
I believe. Locke, do you mind
Oh, wow.
checking that? Because
It's
we're probably
incredible.
very close. I think earlier was about $9,000.
Wow.
So thank you, Red Robinson.
That's
She said there
incredible.
is no last. And thank you, Tunes Mania. I appreciate the bits. $9,615.09.
Give yourselves a shout out for that.
Really?
Yeah,
Y'all,
that's
day
incredible.
one. Day
Incredible.
one, okay? Day one. This thing
That's
is not
incredible.
over until the end of the month, and then it culminates in a live event. So this is so awesome. Thank you for the bits, Moni G. I appreciate it. I mean, everything you give matters. So
Yeah, you're looking at a beneficiary.
that's right.
looking at a beneficiary.
Right here,
So,
looking
please.
beautiful with her
Thank
Sanguine
you.
song. I call them Sanguines because that's what my brother used to call them when he was a little boy. He used to call them Sanguines.
Okay.
I guess he didn't know how to say sequins. I mean, this is the story they tell me. My brother's much older than me, but they said he used to say that. And she got her pearls on, so
You know, how to zhuzh it up a little.
yeah,
something,
she
you know.
all looking out party. Thank you for the bits, Doug. But this book, The Home Bartender, I utilized it last week and I made a lovely apple drink. So I am going to be making a virginal form of it today, and it is called the Virgin Cinnamon Apple. So that is the recipe right there, the Virgin Cinnamon Apple. That is what I'm going to be making. And what it calls for is 2 parts of apple cider, 1 part sparkling cider, a dash of cinnamon, and a cinnamon stick garnish. And it says you make it in an old-fashioned glass. So we're going to be utilizing our little brown whiskey woman glasses. And then I have a second drink that I'm going to be making because we're celebrating.
Yes.
We are celebrating life. And we're making a virgin fizz. So
Looks
you all look
pretty,
at that. Isn't
y'all.
that pretty?
Looks pretty.
The virgin fizz. So this is basically like fake champagne. Okay? That's what we're saying. But it is ginger ale and seltzer, and the garnish are raspberries.
Pretty.
So we have our little pretty glasses here that we're going to utilize. Yes, it's faux champagne, and it's called a virgin fizz. So I am going to start off with the virgin fizz because I'm going to let Ruthie, sip on that while I go get some ice. And you notice I said sip. Sip on it.
Very demure.
Very mindful. Like, who came up with that, y'all? Who came up with the whole mindful demure thing? Where did that start? Does anybody know?
An influencer, but somebody in the chat
Some-
must know.
Okay, if anybody
But it's a
knows where it
influencer.
comes from, hey,
Yeah.
C-Love, how you doing? Please let us know. But yes, and this is a really, really simple recipe. It says 1 part ginger ale, 2 parts seltzer, any flavor, and then the raspberry garnish. So we're just going to build this in our glasses. And again, I'm going to have Ruthie sip on that while I go upstairs and get some ice.
Sip.
And you can be talking to the peoples and tell them whatever you want. So we're gonna start with our pretty stuff. So when it says 1 part ginger ale, that's basically a jigger.
Okay.
All right. Now, y'all, I'm eyeballing.
Okay.
I have my jigger, but I'm eyeballing.
Okay.
So we're gonna pour a little bit of ginger ale, and that's our fizz.
Okay.
That's what makes it like the little faux champagne. So got a little bit going there.
All right.
And then it says 2 parts seltzer, which would be like 2 jiggers. But again, we just freestyling. It's so fizzy. It's going to be so
Right.
good. So I'm just doing pretty much like kind of a little bit to the top there. That's the 2 parts. Like I said, I'm eyeballing it. If you want to measure, you can, you can do all of that, but not today.
Okay.
Not on this one anyway. And then we have our lovely raspberries.
Fun.
And we will put a couple of those in here. Ooh, don't they look nice?
Beautiful.
I'm going to put mine, and since I'm touching, I'll let
Okay.
you touch your own raspberries.
All right.
And that's our drink. Is that not pretty? That is the Virgin
pretty.
Fizz in our lovely pink glasses. And of course, if you want to be fancy, you could sugar the rims. So I got like different sugars. I just want to show it to you. You could do pink or green or yellow or whatever you wanted to do. And basically, you would just use your simple syrup. Remember, that's what I do. You take the simple syrup, take it around the rim of the glass, and then put the sugar on the plate. And then you can make it fancy. Or if you want to put a little simple syrup on the side and roll the sugar on the side,
Oh, nice.
you could do that as well. So we can do all of that fancy stuff. So we're gonna say cheers, and then I'm gonna go upstairs and get some ice. And Ruthie is gonna explain to us about demure and mindful. Demure and
As I
mindful.
demonstrate.
As she demonstrates. Now don't chug.
Don't chug it. No chug. No more chugging.
No, don't do that.
No.
Okay, so cheers, y'all.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Okay, and we're gonna rate this one. It reminds you of champagne.
Yeah. This is festive.
Yes, it is definitely festive. Now I'll say this:
festive.
this is plain seltzer, but maybe some flavored seltzer.
Yeah, we'll kick it up.
Yeah, like a raspberry or a cherry seltzer. I
complement
think would kick it up. But this is good. So I taste a lot of ginger.
I do. And it's good. It's family friendly. The kids would love
The
this.
kids would love. You're right.
I'm always thinking about the kids. The kids would love
The
this.
kids would love this because it
Makes them
really
feel
makes
grown
them
up.
think that they're doing something.
Yeah.
You are so right about that.
This is very family friendly, kid friendly drink.
Something else that I'm going to tell you, just as kind of a person who mixes a drink from time to time, a little dash of vanilla, like vanilla extract.
See, that's where the West Indian in you is coming out. Because, we like to put
Yeah, just put a.
we put vanilla in almost anything. And that would be,
I think
that
a little.
would kick it up a whole lot. That's the Islander.
That would be good. that would be really good.
that would be good.
That would be really good.
That would be good.
Yeah, I like that. So, Ruthie, you got talk to the peoples, and I'm actually gonna kind of leave you with like a topic, so to speak. But first of all, I do want to say to the chat, any questions that you have,
Yes.
this is the time to please type those in. We will look at it. Well, Ruthie gonna be looking at it, but mine's also London and Locke will look at it, and I think Cruz peeked in here.
Cool.
But to try to catch those questions, but any questions that you have, feel free to ask those. But really, I would want to know, like, what is the message that you really, really want people to walk away with? And I know we've kind of talked about several things.
Yeah.
But if you only had to give them, we're going to say one message, if they got nothing else out of this, what would you want them to walk away? And I'm going to leave y'all to ponder on that. I go upstairs and get some ice.
So the thought would be to not live in fear. That's what I want you all to walk away with. This conversation for tonight. So many times we operate in fear in just different aspects of our lives, and it's easy and it's comfortable. But sometimes it's good to just kind of step out on fear, as you've heard so many times. And while that's easier said than done, when it comes to your health, it would be paramount for you to really see if you can just work through your fear. If you see something, you feel something is off, just get it checked out. A lot of times by the time folks realize that something is wrong, it's sometimes too late. And I'm pretty sure your family, your friends, they want you here and they want you here in good health. So yeah. All right. Any questions y'all have for me? Taking a look at the chat to see if there's any questions. So I have a question from Trubella. Says, do you attend any after the treatment groups? It feels like it's so needed to be able to not live in fear and keep going. So to answer your question, it took me a while to find my group in my community, but yes, now I do. And not necessarily on a regular basis, but I found two communities that have been really helpful to me. I was looking for communities that look like me, and that was really difficult to find while I was going through. And also at the time, I had other priorities. But I will share with you, For the Breast of Us, they are based here in Atlanta, and they are a support advocacy group. We support each other. We raise funds. We do packing parties to help newly diagnosed women. And that's a group that focuses on women of color that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Another organization is called Painted Pink. I actually was being interviewed by them earlier today. They also focus on women of color that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. They tend to focus on women under 40 that have been diagnosed, but they support all ages. So great question. What I will say, though, initially when I got diagnosed, Emory connected me with a support group. And at the time, as you know, that was during COVID. I tried to join those groups and I find them to be depressing. They were depressing initially. It was just tough to log in. And when you think you're going to hear stories of inspiration, instead it was just folks that were going through. It was a lot of pick-me's in the groups. They wanted to be heard, so they were talking over each other. And the part that was most depressing for me was that every week that I would join the group, it was somebody new that was diagnosed, and it just felt like the numbers were getting younger and younger and younger. And that's really concerning to me. So we're finding that more women under 40 are being diagnosed at an alarming rate with breast cancer. And not only are they being diagnosed with breast cancer at an alarming rate, but they are being diagnosed at very advanced stages. And so that's why it's really just very important to advocate for yourself, so that even if you find yourself where you don't have family history per se, if you feel something, just advocate for yourself. Fight for yourself to get the testing that's necessary so that you can get the treatment to give you the best possible outcome. DJ Guzzle, yes, that's fair that maybe they were speaking out of fear. That's 100%. I mean, it could be all the things, but you have to protect yourself and you know what you can handle. And so for me at the time, the support groups were not for me. I couldn't do it. On social media, I had a lot of people share with me different Facebook groups. I just felt like that was overwhelming and it was too much for me at the time. I feel like now that I'm 3 years out, it's still a daily thing for me, but I'm gaining my strength in this space to become an advocate and to be able to speak about, my experience and to be able to share and add to the conversation. So I was asked about questions about support. So that was a topic.
Okay, that was
support
a topic.
Groups. Yep.
Okay.
And I mentioned 2 really great organizations here in Metro Atlanta, Painted Pink and For the Breast of Us, that focus on women of color that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So I found really, really great community in those 2 groups.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Painted Pink.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, and what is the other one?
For the Breast of Us.
For the Breast of Us. Okay, so
Yeah.
2 resources.
Yes.
So so Marcia said, what would you say to a friend who has family history but scared to go get tested? Excellent question. Hey, Somas, how you doing?
So you can't make anybody do anything. The best that you can do is nudge them and maybe use my story, other survivor stories, maybe send them a link so that they can hear. There's plenty of information out there on the internet. Being gentle with that person as well, because everyone has what they can handle. I know for you it must be heartbreaking, so we want to absolutely offer grace for sure. But in your gentle way is just provide them with the information until one day they built up the strength enough for themselves, and let them know that you're there for them no matter what they decide to do. That's going to be the tough part for you. But no matter what they decide, is just being there for them no matter what.
Okay, good. Okay, so Cruz said, how often do you have to go back for checkups?
That's a good
and make
question.
sure that you're in remission? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a
also.
very good question. Well, I've been in remission in Jesus' name since the day they took out the tumor. So
I love
we're
it.
claiming that. That's when my survivorship counts for me. But, depending on who you talk to, it depends on how they decide their year of survivorship. But for me, I am in the doctor every 3 to 6 months. And that's in alternating between my nurse team and my oncologist.
Okay.
And like we had talked about earlier, I'll share this with everyone. If I see something or if there's something that's out of whack with me, I don't necessarily have the luxury like I did, pre-diagnosis to say, oh, it's a splinter and it's pink and, I don't know. Literally, I've got about 2 to 3 days to decide, am I going to call this in? Do I need to be seen? Does this need to be looked at a little further? I'll give you all a perfect example. So I had a side effect of itching, and that came from one of the medications that I was taking. It was just a really awful side effect. I had no rash anywhere, nothing presented. I was just itching from top to bottom. Like it was just, I'd be sitting there, y'all would see me rubbing part, I'm doing like this, I'm rubbing, just look like a crackhead, like, just,
That's what I was thinking.
just, right? It was just a side effect of one of the medications I was taking. And so I had to see a dermatologist because of that. Now, I'm being seen for that. And then all of a sudden, because of like where I was sitting, the provider was to my right. And he's like, oh, Miss Prophet, I see a mole on your leg. Mind you, I didn't see the mole. I know what he was talking about. I bathe twice a day. I didn't notice the mole. I just didn't. And even if I did, I don't know I would have thought something about it.
Right.
Let's just keep it a buck. I would have been like, oh, this is cute. It's a mole.
It's a mole.
As when we mature, we're like, these moles are cute. So that's how I saw it. And then he pointed out, he showed my leg. And so it was to the side. So I could have seen how I could have missed it in bathing or putting lotion or whatever. I saw that I could have missed it. So now he's telling me, well, because of your history, do you mind if we scrape that mole? That's
What?
That's literally that was my reaction. That was my reaction.
Wow. So now it's like this heightened sense of everything is potentially a big deal.
Exactly. And so I had to, so out of an abundance of caution, and he said it was up to me. I didn't have to do anything.
Right.
But again, because at that point I was probably 1.5 years out.
You were like, let me see.
So they dang gonna scrape my little mole.
Your little cute mole.
My cute mole on the side of my leg.
Can I just say, side note, y'all, she sipped. Look at this. Look how much.
I can take direction. I'm a good student.
She sipped her drink. She did not chug a lug, and y'all were here for that. So
I take direction well, y'all.
Yes,
That's one thing about me.
Yeah,
I take direction well.
Yes. She took the notes. So do you feel like, kind of, you saying that kind of gives me the thought process too, that probably it changes your life perspective, not only because you started off saying that when you got the diagnosis, you said, I'm going to die. That was the first thing that you thought.
Yes.
So it's almost like you have your Lazarus, right? But you have a different perspective on life now because of your experience. Yes. How would you say it has really, I feel like I know the answer, but for the peoples. Yeah. How do you feel like it's changed your perspective?
Sure. While I still have fear about some things, right?
She talking, I'm be mixing drinks.
Yes.
Okay.
So while I still have some fear about things, others not so much. And I feel like, as the young people say, YOLO, you only have one life to live.
Right.
So, enjoy life. If you didn't before, and up until that point when I felt like I was going to die after getting the diagnosis, interestingly enough, while I was going through treatment, because again, I didn't know if I was going to make it or not. We're just going through this aggressively and just trying to, pray for the best outcome. I thought about my life up until that point, and I said, you know what, God, I had a really good life. Had a blessed life. I've traveled all over the world. I got to study abroad. I have had wonderful experiences personally and in my professional space. And I felt like, if I had to go, it would be terrible for my friends and family. But for me, in this body, I had accepted the worst case scenario. Now that we realize that there's more to come, you have less tolerance for the BS, right? Even though I was working my way up to that, but it's really like I've got less tolerance for the BS. Like you just call it real easy. Like
That
you
makes
just can
sense.
see
That
it.
makes
Like you can
sense.
smell it a mile away. You can see it. You just know that, nah. And
Yeah, nah.
like it's easy to say no. You value your time. That's something that, my time is very precious. And so I don't let people waste my time. I don't let people play in my face. If I can see it and call it out. And also too, I'm with the experiences. So for instance, I had a really wonderful opportunity to climb up Mercedes-Benz Stadium
Oh, wow.
to see the rooftop open up in real time, like literally eye to eye with the roof.
Okay.
But that required that Ruthie climb lots and 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 lots of steps. That I felt I was being pranked at the time. Because they told me it was a lot of steps. And they were like, yeah, this is a great opportunity. And so the other people I was with, they were like, nah, man, we're not physically fit. We're not going to do it. We had some seasoned folks that were around. I was like, yeah, that might not be so much of a good idea. Maybe sit this one out. But I was like, what? This is a once in a lifetime thing. And, Mercedes-Benz people are like, man, we love it. You're a risk taker. You're a daredevil. And I'm like, not so much, but you know what?
But okay.
But okay.
Okay then.
And as we're going up these flights of steps, I'm like, when is this going to end?
It was like that? It was that many steps?
It was total about 200 steps.
Oof. I feel like I just need my Martin Luther King fan just on that.
I thought my chest felt like it was on fire. I was like, oh, I'm not going to make it. But luckily, I've been walking and kind of building up my stamina, but still nothing could have prepared me for that. I kept saying, so where are the cameras? Like, this is a prank. Can I stop? And mind you,
I'm being popped.
I'm with the crew, so I can't stop.
Crew said she would have taken the elevator. She said, what? No elevator.
Twin, there was no elevator. Not when you're going up the stadium, like not at that level. Like
Okay.
to go up to get to the rooftop to watch it open up in real time,
Okay.
there's no access. It's like we're going, you're going behind the scenes in Mercedes-Benz at this
Right.
point.
Right.
You're going like you're beyond the stadium and the seats and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have height issues, like that's not for you. And I'm scared of heights. Can y'all believe that?
What?
Can y'all believe that? I'm scared of heights.
Really? But you did all of that. You because once in a lifetime, right?
Once in a lifetime opportunity. I'll never get to do it again. I don't have to do it again. I can check
Right.
it. It wasn't even
You
on
ticked
my
the box.
bucket list,
Yeah.
right? I didn't even know it was a thing. But because it was presented to me, you just see life differently. Like maybe before I probably would have said no, or maybe I would have said yes. I don't know that, right? But as the moniker says, do it scared.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
That's it.
Do it scared.
Do it scared. That's excellent.
Do it scared.
I love that. So while she was over there talking about walking up 200 steps, y'all, 10 stories damn near, and Trubella making a whiskey mango lemonade. Cheers, girl. I made a virgin cinnamon apple. So this is our finished
beautiful.
product. They look really pretty,
Oh my gosh.
right?
Beautiful.
So I'm going to tell you all what I did while I was over here. So it's 2 parts apple cider. So I used my Honeycrisp apple cider from last week. Want to make sure I was using that. And Honeycrisp is a type of apple. It's not as sweet as like traditional apples. So that's the reason why I chose this.
Okay.
And then it was 1 part of sparkling cider. So I went with good old Martinelli's. They make the best. I think them and Knudsen, I would say, are very, very good makers of sparkling apple cider. And they make cherry cider and other ones, but I did choose apple. And then it said 1 dash of cinnamon. So good old McCormick's. And then a cinnamon stick for our garnish.
Beautiful.
So I just wanted to show you all everything that I utilized. And of course, this is a mocktail, right? So all you have to do is add some liquor if you don't want it to be a mocktail anymore. But we're going to taste this.
This is Instagram worthy, y'all. Like, so pretty.
So cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers. Another refreshing
This is
drink.
good. Very refreshing. I agree. It's the cider and that the sparkling
Perfect
cider.
mix.
It
But
is
not
an
too
excellent
sparkly.
mix. Yes, it is an excellent mix. This is good. Okay, scale from 1 to 5.
I'll give it a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got 2 5
Yeah.
mocktails.
What do you think?
Definitely a 5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
This is another one that's really good for the kiddos.
Yeah, and it's just so pretty. Like, they would absolutely feel so grown up
Yes.
with this. Their little bourbon.
Yeah, because it has a whiskey kind of
Yes,
look to it
yes.
too, so it really makes them think like they're really doing something.
And mix
So
it up.
yeah,
with
if you
your
got
little
exactly with your
stick.
little cinnamon stick, you want to do some sliced apples, you could.
Yes, yes.
You definitely. Thank you for the gift sub, Mr.
Yes.
Go DJ. I appreciate that. Remember, all subs, all bits, everything goes to Beats for Cure! ! Donate, 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 donate. So I have a couple of things that are special for you because I am so grateful that you agreed to come and talk. I know it's not easy to share personal experiences. I know for me, sometimes it's very hard because I'm used to being the individual that kind of hears everybody's, issues and problems or whatever it is, but I'm not so great at sharing. So I want to say thank you
You're welcome.
so much for agreeing to do this. And I have a couple of things for you. But before we get to the couple of things, we're going to eat some cake. Because we got to have pink cake, y'all.
Yes.
So I didn't have, I've been telling y'all about my kitchen. It's still towed up. Okay.
What's going on with the kitchen?
So look, I had a leak and now they're replacing my flooring. The work starts tomorrow. Praise God and Pastor Whiskey.
Okay. We pray for you.
So it does start back on tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
But I have not really been able to get in my kitchen and bake. Now I can use the microwave and do basic stuff, but I don't have the counter space because everything's on the counter. So it has been a challenge. But I wanted us to have some dessert because I know that when you and I first met one another, that's one of the things that I baked.
Thank you.
And I got some
memory.
forks over here for us.
Yeah.
So this is nothing but bundt.
Thank you.
They're very good.
Yes. One of my favorites.
And this is strawberries and cream. I've never had this
Excited.
flavor before.
It's good. You'll be happy.
And you all will be happy to know that I brought my EP one too. So he got one. He probably already ate his, but
No, I'm actually being good.
oh,
for
he's
once.
being good. Violent sweets.
For
Yeah.
once.
But he's being good. So oh, it's good, y'all. Very, very light, very moist. If you have a nothing but bundt in your area,
Yeah. Hit them up.
hit them up.
They give out free cakes on your birthday.
On your birthday,
They
they do
do.
give you a free cake on your birthday. All you have to do is sign up for their emails. I mean, very good.
Yes, this is good.
And I'm gonna tell you all,
a
I'm
treat.
critical on the whole baking thing. Every place that says they have good stuff, they don't have good stuff. So this is really good. So
good.
Yeah, very, very good.
It was close to piece of cake. You ever had piece of cake? Mm-hmm. Don't they kind of remind you of piece of cake?
So Piece of Cake is another place here in the Atlanta area. Very, very good. Really good. So this is delicious.
Just
It's
make you
kind of
down.
pink. It's not as pink as I thought it was going to be. It's not as pink as my strawberry cake, but
It's pink enough.
it's pinkish.
Yeah, pink enough.
It's pinkish. We're just going pink for,
Yeah.
a month.
Pink adjacent.
Yes, it is pink adjacent.
Yeah.
Exactly, pink adjacent.
That's right.
And, Lot, do you mind helping me out with the items that I have for Ruthie? Because you hid them somewhere. I don't even know where you put them.
Oh my goodness.
But,
Like a tissue moment
Yeah.
is coming.
so, just to tell you guys a little bit, though, while we're waiting about the mocktails or zero proof. They're going through Stream Elements. There is a website. And it says more great recipes at foodnetwork.com. Excellent recipes. They had about, I think it was 30 recipes. So just to tell you about a few of them. Tart Shirley Temple, Tart Cherry Shirley Temple, a Tea Teeny Mocktail, a Tamarind Pineapple Quencher, Mermaid Refresher, etc., etc., etc. They had so many options. It was great. And again, with whatever the mocktail is, if you want to add whiskey, add whiskey. But if you just want it just as it is in its purest form, go ahead. Okay. So,
Oh, wow. Wow.
I have some things for you, my dear. I'm going to put our drinks up
okay.
here and our
Thank
cake
you.
over here. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for agreeing to come on and share
It's
your
my
story.
pleasure.
But this is for you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh.
And these are for you.
Oh gosh. That's
And you all know,
thoughtful.
as Locke tells me, I'm a Jill of all trades, right?
Oh my god.
I did do these flowers. Not my best work because I told y'all my kitchen is torn up and that's where I do my work.
This
where I
is
do everything.
to me it's your best work. It's
But
beautiful.
it is definitely from my heart.
Thank you.
When I bake for you, and if I ever do floral for you, it's because I love you.
I love you too.
Okay?
Thank you.
So know that. Thank you.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
So she got a present in here. She got some stuff.
Thank you.
We got all kind of stuff up here today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Pass me tissue. Pass it. Here, girl. We give you a tissue. I want to say to everybody here listening, I hope that
Thank you.
you
It's
all have
beautiful.
received what was offered today. And I thought it was so important that we talk to a person, a real person.
Thank you for that.
Because sometimes you get so caught up in the diagnoses and the treatment and what is going on and oh, this is terrible, or this is what happened. And there is a real person, real people every single day that are dealing with things. And if we as people can extend grace and love and be kind to one another, no matter what the circumstances, but know everybody has a story. And a lot of times we don't know what that story is, but it doesn't matter because we're all humans and we're all trying to be. We're human beings. And we're not humans doing or running or racing. We're humans and we're just trying to be. So this is for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to put this
Thank
to
you.
the
Thank you.
side.
Beautiful.
And we're going to let you unbox.
All right. Okay.
Thank you for being here, too, Bella. I appreciate you.
Thank y'all, everybody, for being here. Oh my goodness.
I see you, Miss Yvonne.
Let's see here.
Hey, LaWanda.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
You know I
These
had
are
to. You know I had to keep it
awesome.
going.
Wow.
You know, I had to keep it going. So I always would give
y'all see this?
Ruthie cards, you know, and I didn't want her to just have just a card, but cards that she could
just
utilize and
incredible.
look at every day whenever she wanted to for a positive affirmation. And so I had to keep that going.
Because I'm a nerd and I do use them. You know, it's not just for decoration. So I do take them to work, put them in my purse.
Yep.
You know, all of that.
So, yep, she's got it.
Oh, and more candles.
And candles.
Because she knows me well.
Yes, I do.
She knows me well.
And I love that one because it says joy and laughter.
Oh,
It smells so good, y'all. Y'all should smell that.
Y'all should. smell
It says joy and laughter because, of course, I want you to have lots of that
Thank you.
from now moving forward.
And to you as well.
Thank
To
you.
you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
More
And
things. Oh,
so when you get ready to, you know, like when October rolls around, you can think pink.
yes.
And she has two because
Accompany.
y'all, you know,
Oh, these are lovely.
you need to have somebody to sit down and drink with, right?
Amen to that.
You gotta have that in your life. So, you know, when Ruthie was talking about her support system, when we talked about this offline, she talked about her family and friends.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes you do not have a significant other when you're going through things. Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
And I know at that time you did not. But I wish, you know, everything that's good and wonderful for you. And I know for a fact that the right dude gonna be the right dude.
Thank you. You know who you sound like? Tim.
And it's funny
God
because
bless him.
I don't know where Crazy Berry Town is.
Yeah.
But she was so heavy on my mind today. And I told you when people are on my mind, I text them.
Yep.
And I texted her today, and you know, she texted me back, and she said she was really missing Tim.
I
And I
miss
get
him
it.
too.
And I get it, you know. And I think it's just proof and power of when people are here, they imprint on our lives, and when they're gone, they leave that imprint.
Yes.
It never goes away. So, so enjoy. And
you.
y'all, she didn't see
Thank
this
you.
part.
Oh.
Bam.
Oh.
She got a
I
brown
my
whiskey
own.
woman coaster
Thank you.
that she can put, you know, when she drinking her
Thank you.
mocktails and stuff. So
Be very demure, very mindful.
right, very demure,
Don't
very
shug,
mindful. No,
right?
no, none of
'Cause I
that.
got coasters now.
Because she
Keep
got
me in line.
coasters. So you know, when you come over to her house, use a coaster.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
you.
Yeah, she got a brown looking lady coaster.
Thank you.
So I want to talk to you guys about what I have coming up. I want to talk to you a little bit about the raid that is going on. Let me get my papers so I can be back on track. What I'm supposed to be doing here. So that is my Beats for a Cure flyer. Brown_whiskey_woman. Not brown whiskey liquor lady. Brown sugar. None of that. None of that. Not the liquor girl.
Run
None of
her up,
that.
y'all. Run her up, y'all.
None of that stuff. Psalmist, thank you for the resub. But that is me. I will be on next Wednesday. Wednesday, you all, not Thursday. Wednesday at 11 p.m. Until 1 a.m. So it's going to be part Beats for a Cure, you know, pink drinks, all the fun stuff. And then I will be on for Halloween, right? So I would like to go through the flyers. I want to show you all what you got going on, what's coming up. So this is today's flyer. We will be raiding into Diva 929 in a few moments. She's on now. LV kicked it off right, y'all. He took us to church this morning. And then on Friday, let's take a look at the lineup. Got a wonderful lineup. So make sure you tab up, even if you are not able to, you know, view, tab up. Okay. And Nails already reached his goal already. Okay.
Wow.
He reached it before the start. Okay. Because it started officially today. Nails had already done it.
All right.
And then on Saturday, 10:26, you can see the lineup there. The Call Us 06 who is in here. He is on the lineup. Van Stella's on there. Kim Blue. And Blue will be broadcasting from here.
Oh, awesome.
At Lock and Key Media Group Studios. So she will be here at 7 a.m.
Early as hell.
Yes.
He gonna need some coffee, okay? I gave him some cake, but he gonna need some coffee. He's not even a coffee drinker. Okay, and so let's take a look at Sunday. So you see the lineup there, and Champ is gonna be on that lineup as well. And Champ is also a fellow survivor as well. She's a breast cancer survivor.
She's like my friend in my head.
Yeah. Really?
In my head.
So
yeah,
see,
we haven't met. I would love to meet her. Oh, that's incredible.
Y'all have something in common, though.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yes, she did share that. I saw a post on IG in regards to that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
Well, God bless her.
Yes,
Yeah, God
most
bless her.
definitely. And Big Stove is on there. Big Stove,
Hey,
our
Big
brother, was
brother.
in here as well. Let's take a look at Monday. So y'all see it's a lot of people. I mean, I'm going through it, but Brax and Classics and Guzzles, Crazy Berry Town, who we were just speaking of. I mean, Kelly Vision. I mean, so many people, but please tune in. Let's keep going. Let's go to Tuesday. Chaotic Patrick's Vinyl, who was on a raid train that I hosted. And y'all look at that, 6 p.m. Grandmaster Flash.
Oh,
the
fun.
legend.
Yeah, that's what's up.
The legend. And DJ Detroit, Mish. She's going to be
That's
cooking
what's
up
up.
some stuff.
That's a
and
very
then-
that's a very Detroit lineup at between 7 and
Interesting.
11.
You know what? It is. You're absolutely right. It is a very Detroit lineup. I didn't even think about that. Huh. Detroit, Mish, and Gemini. Okay, cool. And then Wednesday. So K-Lock is going to be on at 5 o'clock.
Cool.
He will be on for 2 hours. Then he's going to raid into Eb.
Yep.
Ebony ATL. She goes to Rel, and Rel is going to raid into me at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to have some adult story time for you all. Some
Okay. Let's get
Halloween fun. We're going to have a good time from 11 to 1. And then on Thursday, I will be raiding into Lockdown. And then D-Man is going to be on at 9 a.m. So while I'm going to be up late, I'm going to have to get up at 9 o'clock and make sure that I'm on my duty, right, for 2 hours. And we go into Selecta, RTX, IQ, and then that's it, right? We are so IQ is finishing it out, and please again tab up. This is a great lineup. We are already at almost the $10,000 mark for the entire event, and we have the rest of this week to go, all the way through Halloween, and then the live event will be in Ohio on the 2nd. I will be there. Locke will be there. I think Blue Majesty is attending. Who else? See, Love said Detroit going hard, right? Yeah. Ebony will be there. LV will be there. It is a all-star lineup. You hear me? Party Rocker Kev G. Classics. Brax is on the lineup. Selecta. Champ. I mean, this is going to be an awesome event. All-star lineup. So Big Stove will be there. Thank you, Big Stove. I'll get a chance to see you. I know Diz said he was going to be there as well. Cruz said, Brown Whiskey Woman going to be on that no-dose. Listen, I'm going to be on that coffee. I know that for sure.
I'm going to be on some sleep on the flight home.
So all of that. But I just want to say to everybody for being here tonight, thank you. Always. I love you. I never, ever take your presence for granted for being here. It means a lot. You all contribute to my mental health every single Thursday. Some Thursdays more than you will ever know that you contribute. But I want to encourage you all, first of all, take care of yourselves in every way. Mentally, spiritually, and physically. Take care of yourself. Get checked. Don't skip those exams. Don't let the fear of what could possibly be or may not be at all keep you from getting checked. And I understand that. I know that those fears are very, very real for a lot of us. But please make sure you're taking care of yourself so that you can be here. and you can be here for your kids and for your family and for your friends. And I want you to want to be here for you.
That part.
You know, people always
that
talk about
part.
the other people, but want to be here for you. See how your life unfolds and what the universe, God, the creator, whatever you believe in, has for you. And I get it that some days that's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard to imagine. But there's always a place beyond where you stand. Whether you see it or not, it's always there. So I want to say thank you, honey.
You're welcome. You're
Any
welcome.
final
You're
words to the
welcome.
peoples?
Just thank you for your love and support. Thank you. Thank you. This is unfortunately a community that's growing faster than we can keep up with. So just take care of yourself, take care of each other, love one another. That's all we got. And no one fights alone. I believe that.
I like that. I like that. All right. Well, we are going to head over to Diva 929 because she is on the Beats for a Cure Ray train. Donate. If you donate $1, you're making a difference. So please make sure that you get in there and donate. Doesn't matter who you donate to, but if you donate with me, you're in a raffle.
Please give to my
Okay?
sis.
Okay? You're in a raffle. And I'm going to read you some adult books.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be
Spicy.
dressed up. I'm going to have on my pink bra. I mean, I'm going all out for y'all. Okay? I'm doing it.
Pray for me, y'all. Please pray for me. Pray for
I'm
me.
doing it. So be ready.
Send me prayers. Send me food.
All of the above.
Send
Hey, Purplicious.
me some sage afterwards. Something.
He said sage. It's probably not going to be enough sage in the world for all of that. Okay. Hey, Songbird. How you doing?
Hey, Miss Songbird. Love you, girl.
All right, let's get out of here. And I guess, now, listen, I heard a rumor. I'll tell y'all the rumor before we lean in for the rumor. I heard a rumor that next week Locke was going to sing.
Word. Who you heard that from? Who told you that? Who said it?
Tell you who said it, but you can't tell nobody.
I ain't gonna tell nobody.
It was Lisa.
Okay, go tell me.
I heard a rumor.
I heard it too.
And she heard it too because I just told her the rumor that Locke was going to sing You Remind Me of My Favorite Bourbon. He going to have like the whole rap part as it gets darker. Darkness.
Get ready.
Darkness.
You smell the
Well,
hateration.
those are some good ass mic.
Smell the hateration. Y'all smell it.
Did you hear who I said told her the rumor? Who started the rumor? Okay, so Nick don't say he'll copy the raid message. But that's what I had heard. I had heard he was going, I'ma sing like, the chorus and he was gonna do the rap. That's
That's what I heard too.
that-
I co-sign.
okay, we gonna see.
Bam.
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 Y'all gonna be some seeing people then.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
And we out. We going over to Diva. I was up and said, Lord of mercy. Oh,
Little sis London.
I know.
You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, I'm swerving from left